Hey, good morning, guys. It's Donald and Mary, and we're here to bring you your morning weather, water, and trail chatter report. And so this morning, Mary's going to start with the water and weather, and then after, she didn't have a bunch of hiker news, but I brewed some up here, man. It's just a uh, some quick some articles that I brewed up real quick or read through real quick, and they're interesting. Plus, there is one that happened a few days back, which I want to bring up again because it looks like they're continuing to discuss this dude. So, all right, let's start with Mary. Take
All
it
right,
away.
thank you, Donald.
You're welcome, man.
Good morning, everybody. In Blairsville right now, it is 53 degrees and clear. And we're looking at a high of 66 today with sunshine and a few clouds. And winds are going to be 5 to 10 miles per hour today. Tonight, we're going to have 51 with scattered thunderstorms this evening, followed by occasional rain showers overnight. Light and variable winds and an 80% chance of rain. On Blood Mountain today, it's a high of 59, mostly sunny. And then tonight, 53 degrees, rain showers likely between 7 and 10 p.m., and then thunderstorms between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m., mostly cloudy. Winds today and tonight, 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20, so make sure you're checking those loose limbs and branches. Always want to be safe, and we should do that anyways every time we set up camp. And then percentage of rain is going to be 70%. Water is good for the most part on the trail. Make sure you're topping off at Hawk Mountain Shelter and Neil Gap. And then Lance Creek is your last reliable source before Neil Gap when you're climbing up over Blood Mountain going northbound. Neil Gap to Hogpen is dry, and Hogpen Gap does have water. We have some warmer temperatures still going on, so make sure you're cautious with the copperheads up in the boulders there on Cow Rock. We want to be safe, and that's 5 miles north of Neil Gap. Okay, up in the Smoky Mountains, the road going up to Kawohe, that is reopened after being shut down for several days. That used to be Clingman's Dome. It is reopened. Seasonal road closure for that road, though, is November 30th through April 1st, so be aware of that if you're going up there. Newfound Gap Road is open all year round, but it is subject to weather and other issues, so it could close throughout the entire year. So we have, for bears, the ongoing bear closures and warnings. So closed is Twin Creeks Trail, and then campsites 18, 19, 55, 56, 57, and 82. And then all shelters are open. And then campsite cautions, number 71, and trail cautions for bears, Gatlinburg Trail, Cataracts Falls Trail, and Cove Mountain Trail. All right, let's always remember to leave no trace, properly store and dispose of food and other items that have odor, and let's leave it a better place than when we went there. All right, Donald, I'm turning it over to you now.
Okay, sweet, man. All right, guys. Good morning, and it is 5:33 a.m. on 11/7/2025, and if no one knows what the 11 is, it's November. All right, let's start like this. So, I want to start with an abandoned tent, and I don't know if anyone else saw this post on Facebook, but there was a post maybe a week ago, maybe a couple days ago. I don't know when it was, but I ran across it, and it was a tent. Did you see the post? The tent up in New Hampshire, up in the Whites, man. They found an abandoned tent. This dude went up there and checked it out, took it down, posted it online, and everyone kind of attacked him. But this is the story behind it. So, and if people would have looked at this dude's profile, they would have seen that he was search and rescue and part of like red line guiding and stuff up in the Whites, dude. And so they were like bashing this dude for taking the tent down and stuff, man. It was like, man, I mean, the guy is up there doing work, man. You know what I mean, dude? And people just, I don't know. It's crazy anyways. That's why I stay away from those rooms. But all right, so an abandoned tent has spurred a hiking mystery in New Hampshire. Whoever set up the tent was nowhere to be found, but Fish and Game officials had no reports of missing hikers. Okay, an abandoned tent in New Hampshire's White Mountains has sparked a mystery among local hikers and left search and rescue officials scratching their heads. A hiker flagged the deserted tent to New Hampshire Fish and Game officials on Sunday, October 26th, after he camped at the Valley Way tent site overnight and noticed the tent remained unoccupied, according to Lieutenant Mark Ober. A hiker, excuse me. The hiker poked around and saw no footprints in the snow around the tent, Ober said via email. The gear inside, a sleeping bag and other items, was wet and there was still food in the bear box. Whoever set up the tent was nowhere to be found, but Ober had no reports of missing hikers. It is not uncommon for me to get reports of abandoned campsites in various areas of the national forest, so I did not consider it an urgent matter, he explained. And Mary and I have seen it too, along with other hikers,
Oh, yeah,
so we see it
definitely.
down here. All right. And so, curious, however, Ober contacted the president of his local volunteer search and rescue team and asked if anyone was planning on hiking up to Mount Madison or Mount Adams in the coming days and wouldn't mind stopping to check out the tent. He agreed, and he actually hiked up on Monday, October 27th himself, Ober said. He found the tent as it was reported, and it appeared to him to be abandoned. The search team leader poked around for any identification and found a set of car keys. This was a little concerning, but due to the fact that this tent appeared to have been set up for a while and I had no reports of a missing subject, I assumed it was abandoned and I asked him to pack it up and bring it out, Ober said. When he got down to the Appalachia parking lot, there was no vehicle matching those keys. He said the search team leader posted the information to a hiking group on social media in hopes that the owner or someone else with information might come forward. On two separate Facebook groups dedicated to hikers who tackle New Hampshire's 4,000 footers, posts about the abandoned tent drew hundreds of comments and shares, but no solid answer, of course. In the comments section, speculation ran the gamut from theories about an inexperienced hiker who bailed under rough conditions to more sinister scenarios. According to Ober, at least one commenter reported the tent appeared abandoned as early as October 17th. He said there was an Apple tag affixed to the set of keys found at the campsite, but New Hampshire Fish and Game hit a dead end when it contacted Apple in hopes of identifying the owner. I have possession of the gear and I have personally searched most of the area trailheads and have yet to find a vehicle that matches the keys that were found, Ober added. He speculated the tent might have belonged to a hiker who needed to leave in a hurry, forgot their keys, and used a spare car key rather than head 3 miles back up the trail. That is my hunch, Ober said. But either way, I have no report of missing hikers, so I'm just hoping the owner will see the social media posts and come forward to reclaim their tent and car keys. All right, and so I wanted to read that, man, because there is a story behind it, and the person that was in the rooms posting, man, was not just some regular Joe Schmo or someone that was not, that wasn't supposed to be up there rifling through someone's tent, man, because he wasn't rifling through it. He was actually trying to figure out what was going on, and he had contacted the right acronyms of the authoritative figures that needed to be called, man, like Fish and Game and probably the sheriffs, and he was himself a volunteer SAR. So that all being said, man, that's what's up with that tent, if anyone saw that. And like the article said, there were no helpful comments, and that is just how those rooms are, and that is why I stay away from them, actually, man, because you can say something helpful in there and you'll be the only dude that has the a logical answer, and everyone will have a different, well, not everyone, excuse me, a good percentage of that room on that PO or the OP's post, man, or whoever's posting, they'll just be the most absurd things going on, like the most absurd answers. And I don't know if people are trolling or they're just assholes or what's up, man. But I mean, there are some people in there, and there's some know-it-alls, man, that are always in there, man. They're just saying the same thing over and over again. They're like that parakeet, man, that just
People like
continues.
to stir conflict because you have the right answer to some of these things.
Yeah.
You give proper information, and you're the one attacked.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand that, bro. I don't get that part, man, and that's why I stay away from there, man. Because honestly, man, I'm a dude that will say something back, and it takes a lot, not a lot, but after someone sits there and just runs their mouth and disrespects me, I tend to, say stuff, and I don't mean to be rude, man, but I don't know any other way to say something to someone after you've said it nicely, 10 times, and you're just trying to help out, and someone's just diving into your answer and trying to pick it apart and tear it apart and try to discredit you and just trying to belittle you. And it's just, I don't understand that, man. That's not the vibe I like, man. You know what I mean, dude? And so it's unfortunate that people do that. And that's what happened in that room. I watched it happen, dude. I watched that dude get attacked for trying to do what he was supposed to be doing, man.
And
it
the
was
whole
weird,
thing
man.
is, if he hadn't have done what he was supposed to be doing, they'd be attacked for it.
Right, dude. Right. Yeah,
So
right, dude. You're
I
right.
think the best thing with those groups and the people that like to stir up conflict and everything
Yeah.
is to stay out of them, not give people fuel to their
Yeah.
fire, and
That's the best thing
don't
to do,
bother
man.
with it
Yeah.
because they're in there for a specific reason, and that's to stir up trouble.
Yeah, and it's weird, man, because some of the people, dude, are people that have been in there for years. Like I've watched some of these people just, be assholes for years, man. You know what I mean, dude, and talk over other people and stuff, man. And I think it's completely rude. Like, I think there needs to be manners no matter where you are or what you're
course.
doing, man. Whether you're online and you're not facing the person or you're right there in their face, man. There needs to be some filter. You can't just go off and be rude for no reason, man. I don't understand that shit, man.
Everybody's brave behind the computer.
Oh, definitely, dude, man, definitely. And everyone's a know-it-all, dude. You know what I
Definitely.
mean, dude? They're like telling you like what's going on in your own house in there, dude.
That's
It's
right.
weird, man.
Yeah.
And so, anyways. So next, I want to move on to this, man. So there was this hiker rescued in Africa after a jump in a waterfall pool went wrong. A critically injured hiker was rescued in a 12-hour, 4-kilometer operation. Now, I just want to say this, man. I don't know if people... I do a lot of online surfing, dude, because I'm online a lot, man, because I work online and I work on my phone. And that's how we, keep our business on top, man, is to do what people pay others to do. I just do it, man. There's a lot of people on there that's been doing these like big jumps, like waterfall jumps and stuff, and they'll jump from 140 feet and stuff, and there's death divers, but there's this, there's a few people like DMTZ or whatever, dude. He's one that's always on there, like jumping high cliffs and stuff, and it's pretty amazing, man. But this dude, I don't know if this is what he was doing, man, but we're going to read this article real quick. So he's jumping off a waterfall, gets hurt in South Africa on November 7th of 2025, which started as an adventurous jump into a waterfall pool, quickly turned into a nightmare for a hiker near Heckport on the 26th of October. Landing awkwardly in the water, he was left critically injured and in severe pain several kilometers from the nearest road. Thanks to his friends who acted fast, helping him out of the pool and onto the rocky edges, but it quickly became clear that they could not get him to safety on their own. Whoops, excuse me. Okay, so the group initially contacted a private ambulance service, but the inaccessible terrain prevented paramedics from reaching the hiker. Waiting until morning was not an option due to the severity of his injuries. So a ground rescue team was called in, including Gauteng Emergency Services paramedics and MSAR crews or rescuers. The hiker was carefully placed in a vacuum mattress and secured into a wilderness stretcher, providing full body immobilization for the long and difficult journey ahead. The team faced their biggest challenge, moving the stretcher from the rocks next to the waterfall, across the pool outflow, and up a steep rock scramble. So ropes were used to prevent any further accidents as the rescues navigated the treacherous landscape. Once on slightly firmer ground, the stretcher was carried over 4 kilometers to reach a waiting 4x4 before finally being transported to Gauteng Emergency Services ambulance. 12 hours after the accident, he was admitted to the hospital alive and safe. The team described the care taken to ensure the hiker's safety. After 12 hours of careful and determined effort, the hiker was finally transported to the hospital and is now on the road to recovery. I don't know what happened there, man, but the pool is like really small, man, and it looks like maybe he took a digger. But those high cliffs, man, when you hit hit that water, it's just like hitting cement, dude. If you don't hit right. But anyways, man, definitely, I'm glad they were able to get this dude
Oh,
out.
most
Hopefully,
certainly.
he's not injured to the point where he can't walk again. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean, dude? So.
We should all take a moment to think about what the repercussions of our actions are in a moment of fun
Right,
like that,
right,
because
bro.
it could have lifelong repercussions. I mean, it can kill you too if you're not careful.
That's right, dude.
So we need to be careful.
That's right. And what we got for minutes here? I can't see that. All right. All right. And so I wanted to read this one last thing if I can find it. Excuse me, guys. Give me 1 second. I don't know where it went. All right, guys. So today we will be we
Busy.
will be going
I'm going to
to
Albert Mountain.
Albert Mountain to pick up the Blairsville to Jack's Gap that we picked up the other day. So we picked up I don't know if you guys remember this, but Mary went down to Atlanta the other night, picked up some hikers, got them out back up to Best Western in Blairsville, dropped them around 11 o'clock or some, came back here, got up the next morning, headed back to Best Western Blairsville by 7 a.m., picked up the riders, brought them to Jack's Gap, and so those hikers today are going to be at Albert Mountain where we will meet them and shuttle them back to Atlanta Airport. And so, and then we have Nemo coming up to do some work, some housework, and some shuttles around here
right.
because Jordan being gone has left us a driver down, and we get a lot of calls. And so we've been getting a lot of calls and filling Brett and Jeff and Ron up. So definitely we are going to, what I'm trying to say is we like to handle all the calls. We get calls for 2 shuttles, but the thing is, now this is the other issue. We also handle all those calls. So what we would be splitting into 2, we are now taking into 1. And so not quite all of it, but let's just go her full and half. So 1.5 to 1 3/4, but not a full 2, sometimes maybe. But so we're taking that on. So we're pulling huge nights, like the other night that into Blairsville. Excuse me, that night 11:30 Blairsville, 7 a.m. back up over there to Jack's Gap, then back up to Deep Gap. Excuse me, back to the airport, back up to Fontana Dam, back to Deep Gap, and then back to the airport again, and back up here, and then so that type of stuff would not be. We would be splitting that up. Just one person would be down towards the airport and working this area, and one person up in like Newfound, Fontana, and working down. So instead, we're working that whole entire area, and it feels like we're back in 2017, 2018 era, dude, because it's been a long time since we've done shit like that. Well, not a long time, but yeah, we usually have a driver, so.
That's right.
But definitely, Nemo's coming up to help out, man, and then she's going to the airport today to take them back down. That's our only ride today so far, but it is Friday. It is the weekend. There will be calls, man. We had a bunch yesterday, man. The day before, we got slammed, dude. I mean, calls have been coming in pretty heavily.
That's right.
Last night, we were able to break down pretty early after you got back from what was your last ride?
The last ride, I'm trying to think of what it was. I'm sorry, I apologize.
It was the Girard Gap.
It was the Girard Gap. It was Unicoi to Girard.
That's right. So our friend called yesterday from the Swinging Bridge while Mary was she had just coming back from a ride, and they called. So she was in Blue Ridge, so she headed on down to the Swinging Bridge, picked up friends, got them back over to Will Scott, and then she headed back to Unicoi Gap, where she had to pick up some riders, get them over to Girard Gap. They were late though, so they were.
Right.
I think a couple hours.
They were supposed to be originally 2:00, and they kept really good contact with me and told me, the reasons why they were running behind, and they would keep me updated. And then it was going to be 3:00, and then
3:30.
4:30.
Then
And
4:45.
then they
yeah.
showed up at 4:45, so I
And
got
that's
them over
fine.
where they needed to go.
They kept good communication, but definitely when that happens, it kind of pushes
It changes things.
it
So
definitely
you
changes
have to
things
adapt and adjust things.
because when we thought it was one thing, we went and got dinner, so we planned that,
Yes.
and then it kind of turned into this, and then Mary wasn't back till like 7 or 8. What was it, 8?
I was back here
7.
by like 6:15.
6:15.
Yes,
So
yes.
I was sleeping. I was already sleeping, and Jordan was packing up. I remember hearing Jordan leaving, man. He's like, I'll see you in a couple months. And I was like, yeah. And then Mary came in, and we had cooked some sauce, and we were going to do filet and stuff, man, with linguine and corn cob and stuff, man. And we just did a vegetable marinara, like
That's good.
mushrooms and spinach and stuff. Anyways, it was really good, man. But we were cooking that, and then that came in, and so Mary went for that. I cooked dinner. I put dinner away, man, because she wasn't going to be back for a little while because the time kept changing. And so I lay down for a minute and passed out, dude. And my phone actually wouldn't stop ringing, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Every time I'd like pass out, it'd be like, ding! And I was like a zombie.
That's what we do, right?
Yeah, dude, you have to answer.
right.
So
If you don't answer, somebody else
that's
will.
right. That's right. And then you lose the ride, man. But we actually had some more rides that came in later, and we actually turned them over to Jeff Moon because it was like, no more, man. We got to eat. Like, right when we were going to sit down to eat, another call came in from Jim's to the Neil Gap, which is right down the road, man. But she was like, oh, well. I was like, no.
Well, you have to know when to call
I was
your
like,
dad,
no,
too.
no, we're not doing anything else, man. So that was it.
That's right.
We sent it off to Jeff, and then actually Jeff stopped in late last night, man, to drop something off, and he was like, yeah, I went up to Neil and stuff, man, and finally he swings back. He calls, man. I'm in bed. I'm in bed now, man. I was like, what, dude? I was like, just throw it on the porch, man. I got up and went out, man. He was still sitting out there. I was like, what's going on, bro? Anyways, yeah, so good times, man. We love to shuttle people, so, man, it's good times. It's never I mean, there are hard times, man, but it always turns out to be good, man.
That's right. That's right.
All right, I think that's about it, man. Did you have anything else you'd like to say, dude?
No, I'm good.
All right,
Thank you.
sweet. All right, guys, man, thank you so much. If anyone needs anything at all, you give us a jingle.
That's right.
One love, man. Peace. Thanks.